Hello everyone, and welcome to The Single Parent, brought to you by Christ Our Shepherd Ministries, where we are bringing fresh perspective and real solutions to today's single parent. I am Jennifer Dow, and I am so excited to be back with you guys. I have taken a sabbatical, but I am back because I love you so much. And today I have Bobbie Cox with me. I am really excited to have her here. It's going to be a very fun day talking about lots of girly stuff. Well, guy stuff too, but really girly stuff. Organization and decorating and all those things that we love to spend hours talking about, but we never know really how to accomplish at our house.
Absolutely.
Bobbie Cox, she is an interior designer. She has 12 years experience in the field. And you have a BS, Bachelor of Science from...
LaRoche College in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Yeah, and 12 years experience. That's a lot of time in the field.
Yes.
So you have a lot of, you've been around the block learning how to help people get their space the way they want it,
Absolutely.
What's going to work for them, all that.
Well, I think a lot of what you learn in college, you start out, there's a basic curriculum, which is fantastic, and LaRoche College offered one of the best in the country, but I think the practical, there is nothing like on-the-job training, and my background started out in commercial work, and I worked for a firm for 4 years in Chicago, so working there, hit the ground running. First project was a huge lobby project, 6-story office building. So
wow,
it was,
that's exciting.
3 months out of school.
So why are you here today talking to single parents about organization?
Well, first off, my passion for what I do, my design, and I was raised by a single parent. Unfortunately, when I was a teenager, it was right before my 16th birthday that my father passed away. So he left my mother with 5 children. And a beef cattle farm. So we had a lot to do in a very short time to do it.
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
If anyone's not worked on a farm, that's a lot of work.
Yes, yes.
A lot.
Yes, and getting up, the glamorous part of it, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to milk a cow.
You were truly the domestic diva, weren't you?
Yes, yes. So we learned how to reuse, recycle, a lot of hands-on, and I think that's the approach I take with my design, is a lot of hands-on. I get very involved with clients. As I had mentioned earlier, in speaking with my clients, a lot of times it's your personality. We become friends while I'm working on that project with you. I really learn your inner workings, how your family works, what your home is like. Yes.
That could be scary.
Yes. Sometimes the good, bad, and the ugly. Absolutely. I think my funniest story was meeting with a client, and we're having a meeting in the dining room.
Hopefully she's not watching.
And, I hope not. Sorry, Lisa, if you are. But her 3-year-old ran downstairs with no diaper on in the middle of a meeting. And she just looked at me and said, "Does this happen to you a lot?" I said, "More times than you think. More times than you think. There are minor distractions." So.
See,
completely
we need to pray for Bobbie, because her and her husband are trying to have children.
Yes.
And so she doesn't realize how common that is for a baby to run around without their diaper on. So I know all you moms are laughing at home right now.
Yes. And I have to giggle about that, because being one of 5 children with 14 grandchildren, we've seen a lot of it. And people keep saying, "Do you really want to do this? Are you sure this is what you and your husband want to do?"
That's funny.
Like, yes,
well, enough about husbands. Yes. We're here talking to the single parents, and we want to know how to get organized, how to stay organized. And I know, having been a single mom for 3 years, and now that I'm married, no matter where you are in life, but especially as a single parent, you are like, it's where it's all at. You are it. You've got, it's like you feel like and really it does, the world rests on your shoulders. And so organization is like
an afterthought.
It really needs to happen, but then you feel like you don't really have time to get it done. And so today I want us to make sure that, and I want to make sure each one of you has some practical, really simple things that you can take home and implement right away that can make your life easier, because that's why we're here.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Let's start this out. Let's get down and dirty.
Okay.
So how do you begin? How do you get started? What do we need to talk about first?
The biggest part of it is really looking at how your lifestyle runs. How many children you have, that's a huge factor. Do you have animals? That's a huge factor as well. So taking those things into consideration and really lining them up. making a list of things that you do, of times that you come and go, things that you want to have accomplished. You know, a lot of times people will say, oh, I don't want you to come to my house. It's just a mess. I just, you know, being a designer, that's like either people love you or people don't ever want you to come over. And so being
kind of like Jesus. Like you think that you can't pray to Jesus unless you don't have any sin in your life, but the whole reason of going to Jesus is because you have sin all over your sin.
Absolutely. So in hiring a professional, sometimes people are, you know, they think it's expensive. So sometimes, you know, having that outer perspective where we can actually give you a consultation. I do that a lot of times where I do a single consultation for a client, walk through the steps, and basically setting up that system. A lot of times people don't realize that they don't have a system.
Right.
So let's talk about a system. You know, one of the simplest things that I've used over and over again with clients who have children, whether they be married or single parents or even grandparents. I've done this for, you know, the child spare room that they come and stay for the weekend.
Right.
Is the shoebox.
Yeah.
They're free.
Wait, I'm going to stop you there.
Okay.
Let's back up just a second. You were talking about getting started, assessing your life. We'll come back to the systems because I know there's more you were telling me about. But I want to make sure we have this clear for all the viewers. So to begin getting organized, the first step is to assess your life.
Yes. Assess everything that you do.
The actuality of things.
Absolutely.
Number of children, pets, your schedule. If your kids can actually help with chores yet.
If they're of the age to be able to help.
Right. And I think a couple other things we were talking about that needed assessing was priorities.
Yes,
priorities
absolutely.
And a heart thing. And this, I wanted to say this to all the single moms out there. I was raised by a single mom. I was a single mom. You were raised by a single mom. One of the common things I see with a lot of single parents is this fear that you have to hold on to everything.
Yes.
Because you're afraid that, and I was this way, my mom was this way, that there's going to be a time when you need it and you don't have it. So you have to keep everything. Because you're so like, oh, what if I don't have it? And then there's nobody else to buy it. So I have to keep everything because
you never know when you're going to need that piece.
And it can be really debilitating, and that can be a lot of the source of our disorganization.
Well, I think going back to that system, if you set that system up, a lot of that can be quelled because you have an overall plan. You know, we financial plan. We go through, we talk to financial planners about, you know, I have 3 children. How am I going to pay for college? You set down and you set up those standards.
Right.
That's also what you need to do with your lifestyle. And a lot of times that chaos, you really, if you have places for things and you can store things, you know, under the bed get storage. You know, there are different ways of approaching where to store those things that you'll need later. Even, you know, when you buy things, if they can collapse down inside themselves. You know, really thinking outside of the box about, okay, it may be a little bit more money when you're purchasing that particular item, but that it folds up into nothing.
So
you're able to put that away for later and say, okay, you know, we may have 1 child now. Maybe this was not the situation that you had set up in life and having a child, but at some point you want to get married and you may want more children. Sometimes getting rid of all those toys and all that bedding and all those things.
So creative storage options.
Absolutely. Looking at that from that aspect and being able to say, okay, I'll put this away for later because there is another chapter to my life. And this will be a part of that next chapter as well.
It's a way to release it.
Yes.
Without completely releasing it.
Exactly.
Without forsaking it.
That's it. Forsaking is a better word.
Yeah, that's great.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so to begin, we need to take an honest assessment of our lives, a look at our priorities, and remember the heart is where it starts. If we make this great organization system, but the heart is still all messed up, we're going to have a really hard time maintaining it.
Yes.
And so remember to go to your Heavenly Father to restore your heart wherever it needs to be, so that, because He'll give you the strength to carry this organization through.
Well, and
He cares about the details of our lives.
That's exactly it. It is about the details.
And you were so right when you said about the chaos and everything. I think sometimes we underestimate how
the chaos really affects you.
It really affects us.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is amazing to me when I'm finally, I've actually gone 2 months without cleaning my bathrooms. I think it's been more.
You shouldn't admit that. No
yes,
one knows.
I should admit that because I know somebody else is thinking I'm the only one.
No.
But it's not